疲れてるグランデル我らロボット兄弟の兄弟。
In April 1975, Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger started its broadcast on Japanese television, featuring a team of 5 colorful heroes and their fight against the Black Cross Army and their masked monsters. Go Ranger became an instant hit and revitalized the transforming hero TV genre, which up until this point had been informed by the Kamen Rider series format. Go Ranger's success led to the production of new programs featuring teams of heroes who fight evil empires and organizations. The first of these was Akumaizer 3, which told the story of 3 members of the Akuma clan who revolted against the empire and fight to protect the world from its evil ambitions. Akumaizer 3 would be followed by other team-based shows, including Ninja Captor, Band Kid, The Kagestar, Chojin Bibyun, and Jakka Dengeki Tai. While Go Ranger's popularity led to renewed interest in live-action hero programming, it also played a role in ending the first era of the Kamen Rider series. Getting its start in 1971, Kamen Rider was a massive success for Toei and its broadcast and merchandising partners. With a total of 98 episodes and 3 movies between 1971 and 1973, Kamen Rider was an unstoppable and influential force in Japan's pop culture scene, establishing a new TV genre of transforming heroes who fought for justice that played out across multiple TV productions from other companies and its own sequels. Kamen Rider's original TV run was followed by 4 sequel shows, which included Kamen Rider V3, Kamen Rider X, Kamen Rider Amazon, and Kamen Rider Stronger, which premiered on the same date as Go Ranger, April 5, 1975. Despite reworking its approach with this entry in the series, ratings for Kamen Rider Stronger struggled and dropped over the course of the show despite the production team's efforts, which included a special summer promotion campaign. This led to the early cancellation of the program with episode 39. This created an opportunity for the production team to leverage their experience with the Kamen Rider series and apply it to a new post-Rider program. This new work would come by way of another collaboration between Toei and Shotaro Ishinomori, who wanted to continue building on the success of their Tokusatsu hero team format programs, Go Ranger and Akumaizer 3. These efforts led to the creation of a new hero series that would cater to a younger audience and center on 2 robotic heroes, Uchuu Tetsujin Kyodain. Premiering on Japanese television on April 2, 1976, the program would take concepts from the science fiction and super robot genres, which at the time were exploding in popularity, and blend them with Toei's live-action TV hero format to deliver a story unlike any previous works produced by the studio. Kyodain's story opens with a spaceship making its way to a building in Tokyo where the Hayama family is hosting a birthday party for Kenji, the youngest son of Dr. Hayama, but their celebration is interrupted by the robot army from Planet Data and Datoroid officer Basu Card. They have come to take Dr. Hayama so that he can help them with their plans to conquer the universe. After fending off the 2 eldest sons, Joji and Ryuji, the Data robots kidnap the 2 elder brothers alongside Dr. Hayama, leaving behind Kenji and the doctor's assistant, Etsuko. Soon after taking the doctor, Joji, and Ryuji, Planet Data's armies started to stage attacks all over the world. This led to the United Nations creating a new organization to focus on and fend off the robotic invaders. the Earth Defense Force. A year later, Etsuko and Kenji, who have been taken in by this new defense organization, are caught in the middle of another attack by the Dada's forces, which are being led by Bazooka. Enraged by what happened a year ago, Kenji takes it upon himself to track down Bazooka and get revenge for kidnapping his family. He is easily outmatched by his mechanical foe and targeted alongside Etsuko. But just as the Dada robots are about to execute these two members of the Earth Defense Force, they're interrupted by the arrival of an unknown craft which destroys a large number of their foot soldiers. Upon landing, two robots emerge from the craft and announce themselves to the Dada's forces. They are Skycell and Groundcell, and together they are the robot brothers Kyodain. The two heroic figures then sally forth against the Dada army, making quick work of their adversaries through their superior robotic powers and capabilities. They are then confronted by Bazooka, who reveals his true powers by converting into a giant tank mode. This forces Kyodain to show their ability to transform into giant vehicle forms that can take on their powered-up adversary. The two sides fight each other using a wide range of attacks and techniques, which culminates with a decisive win by Skycell and Groundcell. Following the defeat of Bazooka, the heroic robots introduce themselves to Kenji and reveal secret screens inside their heads through which he can see video versions of his brothers. They then shared that they were built by Kenji's father, who was worried about him. Skycell and Groundcell are cyberoids, robots with a multi-layer computer brain capable of retaining a human's memories, knowledge, emotions, and personality. They are designed to be exactly like his brothers and as supportive of Kenji as his real ones. Skycell and Groundcell partner with the Earth Defense Force and assist the organization in fending off the Dada Robot Army's plot to conquer the planet. They would also play a critical role in delivering intelligence on how to defeat the invaders and operating special weapons developed by the organization's scientists. The storyline for the series can be broken down into 3 arcs. The first one takes place between episodes 1 and 21 and centers on the mystery surrounding the Flower Blooming song. The song, which was composed by Dr. Hayama, contains the secret to defeating the Dada Robot Army. But in order to unlock its secret, Kyodain will need to find Dr. Kaido, the only person who is capable of decoding the information hidden within the song. The arc starts with a search for Dr. Kaido across multiple episodes, with Kyodain finally finding him in episode 8. In episode 10, they decode the meaning of the song, which leads to the location of rare materials, SP metal and the X material, needed to make a powerful new weapon that can defeat the Dada army. This new weapon, the Blaster X gun, would be introduced in episode 15. It would be used by Kyodain in a few battles, but would eventually become powerless against their increasingly stronger opponents. The story shifts into its second arc with episode 22, which introduces the Dada Army's leader, Dark General Gaboring, and its higher-ranking soldiers, the Gaboring Guards, which had the ability to fly and are stronger than the Dada foot soldiers that Kyodain had been fighting up to this point in the series. Dark General Gaboring is a gigantic robot that resembles a mechanical right hand. In the middle of its palm is an electronic eye from which it can emit a destructive laser beam. Its fingers also serve as a holding area for each member of its elite fighting robot unit, the Def 5. These robots are introduced in episode 26. They are made up of Def Garen, Def Flash, Def Viking, Def Cat, and Def Gutter. The Def 5 would challenge the Kyodain between episodes 26 and 31, each utilizing their unique powers to carry out individual missions to destroy the two cyberoids. And while they pose a heightened challenge, Skycell and Groundcell were able to defeat each of them. However, the defeat of Death Godder in episode 31 would trigger the arrival of a new deadly antagonist, Gaburin Queen. Known as the Queen of 100 Faces due to her ability to easily transform her appearance, Gaburin Queen is the most powerful Grand Forces commander of the Data Robot Army and Dark General Gaburin's most trusted lieutenant. She will lead a stronger version of the Death 5 robots who were regenerated by Dark General Gaburin following their defeat at the hands of Skycell and Groundcell. Gaburin Queen and the Death 5 robots would fight Kyodain with a wide range of plots that involve more fantastical settings than their previous battles. These included an amusement park-focused melee, fending off a comet collision, revived robots from the beginning of the series, and a freezing cold underground assault. This story arc would culminate with episode 40, when the Death 5 robots are destroyed by Dark General Gaburin and used as the foundation for a new soldier powerful enough to defeat Kyodain, the Black Knight. Wielding the Moonlight Sword, which was handed down from the ancient Mu Empire to the Data, Black Knight proves to be a formidable opponent for Skycell and Groundcell and kickoffs the third and final arc of the series. In this last arc, Skycell and Groundcell find the Sword of the Sun and use it as a means to counterattack Black Knight. They also meet a family of messenger robots from Data, master sword fighting with an upgraded blade, and travel to space to rescue Dr. Hayama, Joji, and Ryuji. While the two mechanical brothers are making their way through space alongside the Earth Defense Force, Dr. Hayama, Joji, and Ryuji uncover the tragic history of planet Data when the original king of the Data Star, Alphata Dadaring, is awakened by the melody of the flower blooming song and all the Data robots shut down. He shares the tragic story of planet Data, a beautiful world that collapsed from an environmental disaster that was triggered by its people. The pollution this event led to would kill everyone except King Alphata Dadaring, whose brain was installed as the core of the Data's computer system. He then bids farewell to his robots and injects his brain into outer space. Following this, Skycell and Groundcell make their way to a spacecraft being piloted by Dr. Hayama and his sons, finally fulfilling their promise to reunite Kenji with his family. But the reunion is cut short by Dark General Gaburin, who begins to attack their craft. Out of options, Skycell and Groundcell decide to sacrifice themselves to save the Hayama family, defeat Dark General Gaburin, and end the Data Army's invasion once and for all. Kyodain was an exciting and fun-to-watch program thanks to its veteran crew, which honed their skills on the Kamen Rider series. These included director Koichi Takemoto, who previously directed the first episodes of Kamen Rider and Go Ranger. He was instrumental in giving Kyodain its at times surreal atmosphere through editing techniques that included time lapses, reverse playbacks, and frame skipping that the show would become known for. These were techniques he had previously used to set the mood and presentation of the original Kamen Rider series' early episodes. The action and fighting scenes were brought to life by members of the Ono Kenyukai group, who had worked on the original Kamen Rider programs and supported many of Toei's early Tokusatsu works, including Baron 1, Henshin Ninja Arashi, Inazuma, Go Ranger, and the Kagestar. Music for the series was composed by another Kamen Rider series veteran and legendary music composer, Shunsuke Kikuchi. His music would give the series a heroic and exciting soundtrack to support its story, characters, and action scenes. The series' heroic cyberoids would be played by two seasoned actors, Yusuke Natsu, who previously starred in Totsugeki Human, took on the role of Sky Cell and eldest brother Joji Hayama. Takeshi Sasaki, who previously starred in Kamen Rider, played the role of Ground Cell and second eldest brother Ryuji Hayama. They will be supported by a cast of veteran actors, which included Jun Usami as Dr. Hayama, and previously appeared in Lightspeed Esper, Fight Mighty Jack, Mirror Man, and Fireman. Hideo Amamoto as Dr. Kaido previously starred in the Kamen Rider series as Dr. Shinigami and acted in numerous productions, including the Ultra series, Baron 1, and Henshin Ninja Arashi. And Mitsuko Horie, who played Etsuko, was already a well-known anime and tokusatsu song singer with contributions to the Kamen Rider series and Go Ranger. Rounding off the cast was a steady stream of guest stars who previously played roles in tokusatsu hero programs or would go on to do so in future works. These included Ultraman cast members Susumu Kurobe, Masanari Nihei, and Hiroko Sakurai. Yuka Komari, who played Jun Aoki in Tetsujin Tiger 7, King Omae, who would go on to play Demon King Banriki in Denji Sentai Denjiman, Hiroshi Tanaka, who played Joker in Jaka Dengeki Tai, Kouen Okumura, who played Ryonosuke Sugishita in Aba Ranger, and Masahiro Kamiya, who starred in Kikaider. Kyodain's core cast and its many guest stars would support the series as it evolved from its original ambitions as a robot-centric show to one that had more in common with the traditional transforming hero program that had dominated the airwaves in previous years. This shift in its presentation and scope can be traced back to specific points during its production. Episodes 1 through 6 are the most representative of Kyodain's original ambition to capitalize on the popularity of super robot anime by focusing on the mechanical aspects of Sky Cell and Ground Cell. During these early episodes, this was showcased through the hero's ability to transform into larger vehicles that could counter the Dada's giant forms. This would lead to fighting scenes that shifted the focus from suit actor fight scenes to mecha battles between the giant forms of these characters, as performed by scale models and puppets that were supplemented by vehicles built by the production crew to mimic the characters' alternate forms. Starting with episode 7, Kyodain moved away from these giant scale battles and leaned almost exclusively towards using Ground Cell's vehicle form and models of Sky Cell's flying modes whenever there was a need to amp up a particular fight scene or duel. They also exchanged their metallic arms and legs for a softer, cloth-based look. This was done to make it easier for the suit actors to perform their roles. These logistical and cost-cutting production changes were followed by a bigger one that further shifted the series away from its unique format. In episode 15, we're introduced to the concept of cybergraphis, a technology that can use the cellular structure of the human that is the foundation of a cyberoid to create a physical avatar of that individual. This allows the actors behind Sky Cell and Ground Cell to join the regular cast of the program out of costume. It also changes the series format into something more akin to a Henshin Hero series by requiring the cybergraphis versions of Joji and Ryuji to perform a transformation sequence through which they summon and merge with their robot bodies. These refinements to the production would continue with a small but noticeable shift away from the series-defining robot designs that dominated the first part of the show to ones that were less elaborate and in line with the concept of an invading robot army. This change starts with the crocodile-themed robot in episode 20 and accelerates with a mummy and a jellyfish-themed robot in the following episodes. The arrival of Dark General Gabarin in episode 22 would result in further cost-cutting by introducing the Death 5 in episode 26. these characters, whose designs were closer in style to General Shadow and the Delzer army from the Kamen Rider Stronger series, would become the episodic enemies between episodes 26 and 39. Gabarine Queen and Black Knight would become Skycell and Groundcell's primary antagonists through the end of the series, completely scaling back on the original vision for the program. While these changes likely resulted in significant efficiencies and cost-cutting for the production of the show, they end up making the second half of the series more in line with traditional henshin hero programs from this period than its early episodes. These cost-cutting measures also had the unintended effect of introducing more visible errors into the finished broadcast episodes. This included multiple shots where you can see the production team on camera supporting visual effects. Despite these changes, the core of Kyodain's story didn't really change. Its focus remained on Kenji's relationship with Skycell, Groundcell, and Etsuko as his makeshift family as he waits to be reunited with his father and brothers. And even with the change in how the Dada robots are depicted in show, the Earth Defense Force and Kyodain's partnership in countering the invaders also remain unchanged. Another aspect of the show that remained a constant throughout its production, ensuring it retained a unique identity compared to other Tokusatsu hero shows of this period, was its visual style. Kyodain makes heavy use of frame skipping and editing that lends whatever is happening on screen to have a unique, chaotic energy to it. This leads to scenes where the Kyodain are running towards the screen and then suddenly running backwards, shifting positions in the same frame, quick cuts that completely break the flow of an ongoing fight, ramping up and down the speed of a scene, and robots falling apart frame by frame. The combination of its surreal presentation and a cast of characters that made you cheer for them throughout each story arc made Kyodain a fun series that stood in sharp contrast to other Tokusatsu programs of the Henshin Boom's closing era, including Ninja Captor, the Kagestar, Kaiketsu Zubat, and Daitetsujin 17. Its robot hero theme also made it an ideal series to base toys and merchandise on during the Super Robot anime boom. This is something that the series sponsor Poppy took full advantage of during the series broadcast. Their Kyodain merchandise and toys included character figures, toys based on Skycell and Groundcell's vehicle forms, belts, and even their UFO base of operations. Unlike other Toei and Ishinomori collaborative works, the TV series was complemented by manga series that were delivered across multiple publications, including Monthly Shonen Magazine, TV Magazine, TV Land, and Adventure King. Each of these deliver a slightly different take on Kyodain's story, characters, and tone, which in some cases was presented with a more serious approach than Toei's TV series. The series was also included as part of the Toei Manga Festival in the summer of 1976, where a theatrical version of Episode 3 played alongside other original works by the company, which included Grandizer, Jetta Robo G, and Great Messenger, Decisive Showdown, The Giant Sea Beast, The Kagestar, and Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, The Bomb Hurricane. Like Kikaider and Go Ranger, Kyodain was also promoted by Toei to broadcasters outside of Japan, but unlike those series, the program doesn't appear to have been picked up. But toys based on the series did manage to find their way into North America as part of Mattel's Shogun Action Vehicles toy line. In 1986, 9 years after its television broadcast, the first 3 episodes of Kyodain were released on a single volume VHS. The complete series would get its first home video release between 1997 and 1998 across a 6-volume Laserdisc collection. It would make the transition to DVD in 2006. Since the end of its original TV broadcast, Kyodain was a Dortmund property that only resurfaced from time to time in collected works and magazine articles about Tokusatsu programs from the Henshin boom period. But over time, the series would reappear in surprising ways, and eventually, its characters would resurface for a new generation of Tokusatsu hero fans. In 2007, the opening theme song for Kyodain would resurface in the first episode of the anime series Lucky Star, where one of its characters sang along to it in the end credits. In 2011, Skycell would influence the design of Kamen Rider Force's protagonist, whose helmet design bore a similar shape. In 2012, reimagined versions of Skycell, Groundcell, Gumbus, Black Knight, and Gaburin Queen made an appearance in Kamen Rider Force the movie, Everyone, Let's Feel the Universe. Here, the characters play opposite roles from the ones they had in the TV series, with Kyodain and Gumbus being the antagonists, while Black Knight and Inga Blink, an anagram for Gaburin Queen, support Kamen Rider Force against them. The characters were also the subject of 4 special Net Edition episodes that were a spin-off from this movie. In these segments, the cast of Kamen Rider Force is taught the history of Kyodain and how it ties into their modern reinterpretations. It also includes some smaller references to the series, including a humorous one for Dark General Gaburin. The reimagined Kyodain would resurface in the 2013 movie Kamen Rider Super Sentai Space Sheriff Superhero Taisen Z. In the film, they are revived as members of Space Shocker. Dark General Gaburin would be referenced in the 2017 movie Kamen Rider Heisei Generations Final, billed and X-Dayed with Legend Riders. In it, an interdimensional gateway known as Enigma takes the shape of a giant hand with an eye in its palm, mimicking the original character's design. In April 2020, Uchuu Tetsujin Kyodain was one of the inaugural programs to be included in the launch of Toei's Tokusatsu World YouTube channel, which made Kyodain alongside 70 other shows available to fans outside of Japan for the first time. The characters have also appeared in various video games. These include the Dreamcast game Tokusatsu Boken Katsugeki Superhero Retsuden, which features Skycell and Groundcell alongside other classic Tokusatsu heroes. 46 years after its TV premiere, Uchuu Tetsujin Kyodain holds up as an incredibly entertaining show. Its surreal, energetic presentation is still unmatched, and serves as a powerful reminder of how talented its production team was and how they mastered their craft via the Kamen Rider series. Regardless of which era of Tokusatsu and transforming heroes you enjoy most, Kyodain is a series that you should make time for in your watch list.